Right. Shall we begin?
Yes.
I can't see if anybody's in, but
Yes.
good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. My name is Sue Boucher. If you don't know me, I am the Project and Communications Manager at Palliative Care for Children in South Africa. And I've been given the honor of starting the webinar off. So we're going to keep it very, very casual. We welcome any questions that you have perhaps in the chat that we could answer. And then maybe at the end, we can have spoken questions. We're going to begin with a slideshow. I'm just going to give you some tips about creating posters that I've learned over the years. And then Dr. Liz Gribber is going to talk a little bit with some tips of her own. Joan Marston will tell you a little bit about presenting a poster, and then Dr. Nahala Gaffa will give you a demonstration of creating a poster in PowerPoint. So we're going to get started. I'm just going to share my screen. I wonder if one of the panelists can let me know, can everybody see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Have you given me the ability to share? There we go again. Share.
Still not.
Still not. Okay. I'm wondering what's going on. Let's try again.
You are a co-host, so you should be able to share.
All right, let me just, sorry, I'm on screen for the two. Let me put my share.
Yeah, it's coming up. Okay.
Great. Can everybody see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
super.
thanks.
Super. Let's just start. Okay, what I thought I would start with is the guidelines that we've been provided, that APCA have provided us. So obviously these are very important. You will find these on the website. So the first one is the sizing. I have just chatted to APCA and they say if possible it would be best to use the guides that they have given us, which is a 700 millimeter or 70 centimeters in width, and then 1,000 millimeters or 100 in height, centimeters in height, which is a B1 standard size. So when you take it or send it to the printers, you can actually say to them, this is a B1 standard size, which is slightly smaller than the A0, which is often used for posters. APCA have also asked that you display the poster number at the top of the poster board, and that you also put your abstract number in the upper left-hand corner of your poster. They've also said the title and the authors must appear at the top of the poster, and that the language of the poster must be English. So those are pretty self-explanatory. And then, sorry, I'm just going to make that smaller. You are expected to spend at least some of the breaks at your poster. And in fact, at a conference like APCA, it's really, you know, like the APCA conference, there's so many parallel sessions that in fact a poster will often get more traction than a spoken abstract. So if you are standing at your poster over the 3 days, you're going to probably get everybody at the conference coming and having a look at your poster. So it possibly is a better option often. So spend time at your poster. In that way you can talk to people who come and have a look and advocate for the work that you are doing or talk about your research. You can also provide handouts of your poster. So a lot of people these days will just take a photo. So they will stand back and they'll say, if they're interested in your photo, you'll see in your poster, you'll see they'll stand back and they'll take a photo. But it is quite good to have handouts. And you can, in the slide, you can see this doctor has got a little plastic sleeve in which she has her handouts. She's standing at her poster. So people can take a handout if they are that interested. And you might put a little sign that says, please take one, so people know that they're welcome to take them. APCA also have said that if your poster or related materials are available online, it's really good to include the website address or a QR code. So if you don't know where to get a shortened, you might have a long website address that you want to point people to. So a really good thing to do is to make it short. And you can do this on the Bitly website, and it's completely free. If you don't know, you just go to bitly.com, and I don't think you even have to sign up, or they might ask for your email address or whatever to have an account, but it's completely free. You can put your long URL into, you can see it says create your Bitly link. You put it in there and you click, and it will give you a much shortened version of your website address. And then if you want to create a QR code for that same URL, you just ask it to create a QR code for you, which it will do, and you can download it and you can put that. So people just scan that QR code at your poster and it will take them directly to your website. So that's quite useful information. Then if you are going to create your own poster, it's much easier to do these days. There's so many tools, there's so many programs out there that can help you do that. And here are just some of them that you can use. I would suggest, if you're not familiar with creating your own poster, that probably PowerPoint or Keynote, if you have an Apple, is the best option to creating your own poster. But there's Google Slides. Canva is also really intuitive. You can play around with Canva. You get a free version of Canva that you can use. And even if you want to have the pro version, they give you a 30-day free trial. So you can create your poster within that 30-day free trial, and then you have access to a whole lot of assets that you don't have if you're just using the free version. And then there's Venngage. I have played around with that a bit, but it's not as easy to use as, say, PowerPoint or Canva. And then I know that Dr. Gaffer is going to talk a little bit more about how to design a poster in PowerPoint, so I won't go into too much detail, but just to say to you, to start off, you need to choose a blank presentation. And then what I do is I open a slide and I delete the heading slide, and then you click on design, and then you go to the right hand side and you'll see it says slide size, and a little dialog box comes up, and then you put in the size that you need. So it's all there for you. The minute you put that in, and portrait, obviously in portrait format, it will create a slide that is perfect for the poster. So just a little bit about the content and structure of posters. Please keep the content focused. You don't want to fill your poster with a lot of text and a lot of information that people are probably not going to read. So choose what you want to say, the most important things that you want to say, and then rather point people to your website or wherever through your QR code or your website. When you put it in the poster, please remember that people read from left to right, and well, most people read left to right, top to bottom. So don't have you need it to go in a logical flow. So from your aim to your background, to your method, to your what's the next one? Conclusions or discussion. So make it flow from top to bottom. You can obviously move it around, but just remember that's how people read. Also remember not to put your text right across a poster unless it's a heading or something. So if it's text people have to read, if it's copy, keep it to maximum half of the poster, because it's really difficult for people's eyes to track all the way across a poster. Use short sentences and use bullet points. That's really important. So you're separating the important points for people to read with bullet points, okay? And don't use long paragraphs of text. Okay, just a few visual design tips. Use a font that's very easy to read. So we call it sans serif, so it hasn't got like little spots and dots, and don't use fancy fonts. Please, stick to an Arial and an Arial Nova are really good because they give you options for bold text, narrow text, condensed text, light text, so you can actually play around within that font. The minimum size for your headings, 36 to 48. I even go further than that usually because you want to draw people's eyes to the headings. So I'm really interested in the aim, or I'm really interested in the conclusion, and they will see that. And again, minimum size for your text, I would err on the more 28 to 30, so people can read it from a distance. Please try and stick to a color palette. 3 colors, 3 or 4 colors max. So it doesn't look like a dog's breakfast all over the page, or somebody spilt a tins of paint all over your page. So stick to a color palette. You might want to use your organizational colors. You might want to use APCA's purple and orange, to sort of make it go with the logo or whatever. But don't put too many colors on your poster. Please use white space. Just because the space is there, it doesn't mean that you need to fill it. Okay, so you want to make it easy for people to read. So make good use of white space around your images, around your charts, and around your text. Where you can, put the information into a graph or a chart, or use icons. You can get icons through Canva. You can also get icons through Pixabay. There's a number of places. I think I've got a list. And please make sure that the text is visible on the background color. So make it easy on the eyes for people, or image. If you are going to put an image as a background, please be careful because that often overpowers the text. So you need to make sure that you take the transparency of that image right down so it's more suggested than bold and distracting. So photos are always awesome to use in a poster, particularly if the photo is very relevant to your poster and to what it is you're trying to get across. Please remember, if you use photos of patients or children, you do need to make sure they're used ethically and consent has been given. But there are numerous stock images that you can find online now. You can get, Pixabay has so many free images. You can get pictures from Canva, particularly if you've got the Pro version. Microsoft 365, if you're looking for really good images, you just put insert picture and it gives you the option for stock photos. And there are thousands upon thousands of really good stock photos that you can use freely in your poster. And then make sure that your pictures are in high enough resolution. Remember, you're going to bring that picture onto a poster, which is going to be printed at very, very much bigger than an A4 sheet of paper. So if your picture is already in low res or a very small picture, it's going to become very pixelated and not look good on your photo, on your poster. Remember to crop your photos to remove unnecessary clutter, and don't stretch your photos. I'm just going to give you
Never stretch the photos.
Yes, don't stretch the photos. So just to know if it's in high resolution, just one way to find out how big that photo is to basically click on the picture, that little dialog box comes up and it'll tell you. So you shouldn't really put a picture lower than 1.5 to 2 megabytes into a poster unless it's a very small picture. Otherwise, it's going to become very pixelated. And just a tip, often we WhatsApp post pictures to one another. And what you have to realize that when you WhatsApp a picture to another WhatsApp actually immediately makes that picture smaller. So then if you go and try and use that on a poster, you're going to have a very low resolution picture. So if you've taken an original photo on your phone, rather email it to someone, and then WhatsApp will give you the option to send it at its original size, and then you choose that. So that's just a quick tip. So this is just something about cropping photos. So you've got this lovely photo, you want to put it into your poster, but it's got so much background that's distracting. I just want to show that in this training, we ask people to give feedback. But now I've got this photo that's got curtains and screens and floor and tables and umbrellas and all sorts of things. So what you need to do is you crop it, and then you just have what's important to for people to see. So you can see in the photo that I cropped, I took out a lot of the background. But also remember that the minute you do that, your photo becomes smaller in size and is going to take up less space on your poster. And this is what Liz was saying. Please don't stretch photos to fit a space. On the very left, I've got a photo of the people in this activity. And then in the middle, I've stretched them, which is great. It makes everybody look taller and slimmer, but it really looks very weird. And on the right, they're not going to love you for making them wider and shorter. So please don't do that to your photos. So, here's just a few poster ideas. I actually asked Google to give me some good examples. So on the left and the right, that's what Google gave me. The middle is the poster that I recently designed for our conference in South Africa. But just have a look at how they've used graphs where possible. Even that dialogue box looks interesting. You want to go in and see, what is that all about? And, the use of just one or two colors, the use of white space. See how they've used white space on the post on the right, how they're guiding your eye down with that line in the middle. So this was just for me some examples of good posts. So I'm now going to hand over to Dr. Liz Gwither, who's going to give some thoughts on.
Thank you very much, Sue. That was a great introduction. So there are a few things. One is if there's a poster template. So we have heard from APCA that they are considering putting up a template for us to use. And sometimes if you're with an organization, they may already have designed templates for your own presentations. The other thing, as well as Sue saying, don't carry the text across the whole poster, just make sure that your headings may have a different font size, but the rest of the text should have the same font size, unless you're doing bullet points, and then that's going to make it a little bit less. But try and make the font consistent. Some people like to put in the references, especially when it's a research poster, but in fact, the references kind of detract quite a lot. I'm not trying to minimize the work that researchers have put in to publish their work, but often you can just say the references are available from the main author, and then you've got more space for your text. And those examples that Sue gave, especially I like that one that had the kind of path of following the story. Just make sure that you have a balance of your visuals and your text. I'm not saying they should be equal, because you might use a lot of visuals to get across your message, but just also just too much text is very dense and people stop reading after like the first little bit and just look at the kind of pleasing picture, because that's what a poster is. It is a picture of your work. So I think that that's an important aspect too. So thank you, Sue.
And thanks so much, Sue and Liz. And so I'm just going to speak very briefly on when you come to present your poster. And Sue has spoken about how important it is to spend time at your poster. You know, we think we've covered everything, but actually when that person comes to read it, they might not quite understand what we're getting at, or they might want more information about why you did it. And the programs that you are working with. And so in the beginning, when I did posters, I never thought about preparing a presentation, because I thought, oh, well, you're just going to talk to the poster and read bits out of it and show the pictures and diagrams. But in fact, it's really good to decide when you've done the poster, as Sue said and Liz said, that you're going to put the important facts are going to have to stand out. But prepare your presentation using those important facts as well. And just as if you're doing an oral presentation, spend time practicing it. You don't want anything that's going to be too long. People are there, they're going to read the poster, they're going to look at the content. You want to really highlight what is important. And you might want to give them a short background story for interest, why you did this research, why you set up that program. And there wasn't room on the poster to put it, and it wasn't really right for the poster, but it just gives that extra little personalization about this poster. Some people like to point to different parts of the poster, and that's fine if you haven't got too many people with you. If you've just got a couple of people and you want to really point to it, that's great. But if you've got a group of people around you, not everyone is going to be able to see where you're pointing. So it might be better just to stand to the side and say, you can see in the second column in the middle, this is what I'm talking about, or this is what this particular picture or design is really saying. So just play with your audience. Normally you just get one or two, but you might suddenly get a group of 5 or 6. And then any time you turn away from talking, remember as well, is they're not going to hear you as well. So it's better to stand where they can hear you clearly and where you can just maybe speak to the parts of the poster that you're talking about. And then think of possible questions that you might be asked. I mean, people often come up with a question you hadn't even thought about. And so answer your questions as clearly as possible, and then perhaps refer them to the website to further references. But if they ask you a question that you haven't been prepared for, and you really don't know, or you need time to think about it, just be upfront and honest. Never try and just make up something on the spur of the moment, because you don't want to appear to be silly or stupid and not know enough about it. Just say honestly, you know, I hadn't thought about that. Will you give me a bit of time to think about it? Or what do you think? Because often they have thought of something, but they're scared to say what they think because they want your answer first. So you can say to them, I hadn't thought about that. I need time or to go and look it up. But have you got any thoughts? And you might find others in the group around you have thoughts as well. So always be honest and don't, as I say, never try and make up something. And I think often when you're doing it for the first time, you think, oh, I can't appear silly in front of people. I can't appear as if I don't know what I'm talking about. Just be upfront and honest. You might also be not the person who did the research or prepared the project, but you might be standing in for them. And then you can be absolutely honest as well. And that's why it's important to have some form of contact. And then what I like to do is just keep a notebook in my bag and say, would you like to stay in contact? Or when you're chatting to people, you might think, that's someone who actually I could work with, and get them. They might have a card, a business card for you, or you can just make a quick note and why you've put that person's name and contact details in your notebook. And I think most importantly, it's the way that you welcome people to your poster. So smile, be enthusiastic, and remember to say thank you. Thank you for stopping at my poster. It was really good to talk to you. And that will make them want to stay in touch or come back again if they have any questions. So thank you, Sue. I think it's Nala's turn now.
Yes. So I have a few tips about how to format the text. I will show you in a demonstration at the end of those 2 or 3 slides I'm showing. Just the contrast between what is better. Is a black text on a white or light background? Or is it the white text on a black and dark background? Frankly, for the majority of the poster, it's better to have the black text on a white or light background. And we can reserve the white text for simple headings of the paragraphs. And where do we change? So when we have the text as a box, we click on it, and then we go to format, format shape, yes, format shape. And then we press on the paint or the, yes, here. And then we have the different colors. We say solid fill, and we change the color here. I will show to you in the after the slides. So this is how to change the background and the color of the text. Let's go to the next slide. Yes, very important, and mentioned previously, it's very important to unify the font. It's better even to have the same font type throughout the poster and have different sizes, like the title, different size, the headings, another level of size, the text, another size. And if you have like a small point like the figure or even the names of the authors, that will be another size. And to ensure that we have the correct size and the correct font, it's easier to format only one part and use the paintbrush easily to repeat for all of the other parts. Next slide, please. Yes, and this is very important. I usually play with paragraph spacing and an alignment. A lot of people don't do that, but it really makes your text beautiful and well spaced. We need some white space. So if the space between the lines is less than 1, it's not nice. So you usually want to have it at single spacing or a little bit more, like 1.1 or 1.2, okay? And some spacing between paragraphs. So here I put 12. Okay. And yes, using bullets and numbering. And if it's a text, a continuous text like this, it's better to have it full justification. Next slide. Yes, let's go to the practical demonstration. I need permission to share my screen.
You can.
Thank you. I don't know, what do you see? Do you see 2 parts of the screen or 1 part only?
One part.
part only.
Oh,
We can just see
okay.
your abstract.
Okay, so this is an abstract. Okay, let's look at it. It's just an abstract that was presented. And then I will close this screen and I will just copy and paste into a PowerPoint. And now you can see the PowerPoint, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just, so what I do, first thing, we go to design. This is a normal PowerPoint. I go to design and I change the size of the PowerPoint. Why is it very slow? Okay. Design. Let me see if I stop sharing again. It seems when I share the screen, I can't work on it. Yes. No, I can. Wait. You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Slide sides, page setup,
Okay.
and here, width 70 centimeters, height 100 centimeters. Okay. Scale, so they want to enlarge the fonts accordingly. Good. So now I have this one. And so this one, I can use it for the title. I can leave it here. And this one is for my text. And what I can also do is that in my view, I can have grid lines. Also to make sure that I am now let me copy some of my material. Title. So I choose it and I go to the font. And let me go something a little bit less than 140. Even lesser. Let's say 100. Good. Let's make it bold. And then I can think about the color because I want it to be very beautiful. Blue. Let's go to a text. And maybe I repeat this one for the subtitles. Copy. Paste. I bring it a little bit down. And of course, for the subtitles, it's going to be smaller. Let me bring the subtitle first. So I have here objectives. Copy. And smaller. Let's see the range that you said 36 to 48. Okay, let me do this one. Oh, this is too much. Let me go. Let's try coloring it in the opposite way. So it's white background and no, white text and dark background. So I press here and there is format shape. And I go to solid fill and let's say dark purple And then the text disappeared because it's in black. Let me make it white. Okay, so I have the objectives. Let's copy what are the objectives. So I want objectives to be a paragraph. So I just put it here. And I need to reduce it a little bit. Okay, and make it full justification. Let's see the spacing of what you call it between the lines. How do I do it? So here, this one, line spacing. And here I can play. You see, automatically it usually goes to 0.9 and it's very crumpled. So the best thing is 1 or more than 1. So this is 1. And if I have more space, then I can go to 1 point single. Okay, multiple. And then I go 1.1, for example. And before it, there's no problem now, but 12 is okay, or let's say 20. Okay, so this is the spacing of 1.1. I put it like this. Let me take another part of this abstract methods, copy, and I ask for a text, insert text, and I put my methods here. Okay, and let's use the brush, home, brush. I copy again, I brush again. Some parts are very small, okay. And let me copy another subheading, paste. This is the so you see here automatically it will show you where it's the center if I'm aligning with the other paragraph. And I go with this one. Let's say here, methods. Okay. If I remove the grids, just see the view. Okay. And then if I change the font here, I have to remember to change it here also. So with the brush, I change the font. Let's see if I can put some, what you call it, bullet points. Okay. Okay, so they seem very small, so I just use my brush again. Okay, now this last part, I want it to be bullets. So where do I go? I go there. Okay. And here, I want this one to be justified. Okay. If I'm not happy, I want to make it smaller. Maybe I have more material to add. Okay. And I can repeat Control Y, I repeat the same action. So I reduce the font and I move up around. And then let's say I have other parts on this side. I just repeat this one. Okay. And I have, let's say this is copy, paste. So if I'm having titles, it's better to be justified on the left side. On the left side. Of course, there are other programs that can give you some drawing here instead of boxes. Let's say I want to change all the background and make it a lighter color. Format background, color, very light purple. Okay. What do you think now?
Yeah.
Let me add a...
Nice, but you just need some pictures now, Nala.
Yes, I want to add a figure. Good. And paste. Okay. Now the figure, I can modify the size of the figure, and usually it's better to have it in the center. And what? So I have to change. So it's horizontal, so it's coming like this. And we already spoke about stretching photos and stretching people. Also for figures, it's better not to stretch, but to go in the corner to enlarge all of it. So both dimensions are moving the same. Okay. Otherwise you have a disfigurement. Here, then I move this one and change this shape of the last paragraph I have. Okay, I made it like this. Where is my title? My methods. Or if I want, I will bring the results there. Okay, let the results be at the end. And I put the methods there.
Yeah.
I need to go down. Sometimes I can take a space from the box itself. Okay. And we add the authors. Paste. So instead of this very large, I change. Now the authors, I would like to use italics and smaller font, of course. Italics. Let me bring some imaginary names. It won't change, so I go back and reduce it. Okay, so I can see if I'm in the center, you see, when it shows me the arrows on the side, it means that the margins on both sides is the same. Also this one, I can play with it. Yes, now it's the same. I can bring in my grid lines just to check that everything is okay. Maybe I already go down a little bit with this one. So to move, usually we take it like this. And if you want, you can move it with the cursor like this. And if you want to have fine movement, you press on the control or command and go like this. So this one is millimeters movement. I remove my grid lines. Are we happy? Any questions?
So Nala, you make a poster in a lot shorter time than I do. I think I take days over it.
So I'm ready to help anyone. So you can, I'll put my email in the chat. I put my number, it's better by WhatsApp. If anyone wants a last minute, maybe 5-10 minutes, I can improve the posters for you.
Just one point that I'd like to make is when you justify, it's probably better not to fully justify, and then you don't get those big gaps in your
Yes,
text.
yes,
Because
yes,
you could drive a bus through some of the gaps when you
yes,
do
yes,
full
yes.
justification.
We have to, yes, it's very important point. You see, I have a gap here.
Mm.
So there are a lot of options. One option is maybe change the wording, break some words.
There's also a justification where it doesn't fully justify
Let me
everything,
see.
and then it gives you,
I hope so.
yes,
Justify low. Okay. Anyway, we can also stop the justification. Let's
yeah.
see if we don't do the justification. This is
Sometimes
another option.
sometimes those gaps are not so good
Yes,
in your text.
yes. So sometimes I move some words which are or add a word, something like that, so that I close the gap.
I wonder if people would like to ask any questions, maybe pop it in the chat or have questions for any of the panelists.
So I see Philemon had his hand up.
Okay, I'm not seeing anybody.
It's gone down now. I just wondered if he still wanted to ask a question.
Maybe people could put their questions in the Q&A and in the chat so that we address them after Nala is finished.
Is there any questions related to formatting you want me to do anything about with this graph? Somebody has got a specific thing I need to do? No questions, that's good. And there are 2 people who raised their hands, yes.
I can't see.
Philemon, Malinia, and Naledi.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. This is Naledi from Botswana. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for this webinar. I think it's very important for some of us who've never done a poster and are intimidated by the fact that it looks like in the poster or with a poster, you really need minimal text in your poster, but still be able to convey the message that you want. And particularly for me, as I was doing my slides on the PowerPoint, I struggled a bit with the method section where I felt like I had a lot of data to present, but then I didn't have enough. And it looks like in the poster, I might even need to polish that down to like a few sentences or words. So I really appreciate this presentation because it has shed some light into what I need to do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Philemon?
Philemon, you have permission to speak. You can unmute.
Okay, I did unmute and I had a problem since you started. First of all, I would love to greet all of you and more to Sue. I think we met in Gaborone, and for Liz, I think we once spoke. It was 2018, and I'm still with APCC. And yeah, I'm glad to see you, and we would love to engage with you more and more as time goes on, and I'll be happy also to get your number. But also, I mean, from Nata, I also wrote an abstract and it was approved, but I didn't know how to, but it's a poster presentation, and I will really need you to hold me by hand, and
Sure.
I will need your details so that we talk after this and you assist me, so that
Okay.
I want to, I would like to present. I'll be presenting in Gaborone.
I will be very honored to help you, and I
Yes.
learn also more.
Yeah.
I'll put my WhatsApp number in the chat, so you just text me.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, now is it this one?
I'm also very happy to assist anybody, give advice if you'd like to contact me.
Good. I think I'll stop sharing. Last point I just wanted to say is after you prepare the poster like this, you print it out as PDF, and you take it to somewhere where they print on that size as a PDF.
I think just to reiterate what Nala said is you must create your poster in the correct size. You can't create your poster as an A4 and make it a PDF and ask people to print that, because your printers are going to say, no, we can't. You have to actually create it in the size of the poster.
Okay.
And maybe just a question to Apka. Will you have press stick or pins or something there for the posters to go up, or must people bring their own?
I probably don't have the correct answer for you, Joanne, but let's. I know that there will be some space to mount it, so just to be on the cautious side, it's good to bring your mounting kit with you. I believe that it will be provided. I do believe it will be provided. I just haven't confirmed it yet.
Thanks,
They
Lisa.
normally provide double-sided tape.
Yes.
Something, yes.
I also wanted to ask the same. If they say after you have helped me, I've polished it, and then I send it to the organizing team, are they not gonna print it for us there? So what I do, I just present.
You send it to a printer, so somebody who will print it for you.
I mean, to the APCA, organizing team.
I think that is very complicated and difficult. You
Okay.
need to bring your poster with you
Yeah.
on
You
the
come with
plane.
your poster.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can use it. You can take it with you and use it for other occasions.
Yeah.
All right.
And so if you go to a printer, just take it on a flash drive with you or email it to them. Because if you take it in printed format, they're not going to be able to enlarge it.
I don't get your number, Nasha, on.
I put it on the
Yeah,
chat.
I see it there. I put it on my phone. So I really wanted to send you a WhatsApp now so that
This is a WhatsApp. Mine
Yeah.
is a WhatsApp number.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Maybe it's a mistake. Wait, I made a mistake.
There's a
I
mistake.
will write it again. Yes.
You see?
There is another. There is a 3 added. Too many 3s.
Okay. 39. Okay, so the other 3 is wrong, ne?
Yes. I will help you do it. So you need to be on the computer and we will share the screen. I will give you the guidance. So you will learn. So next time you'll do it also by yourself.
Yeah, no, because I'm intending to do a lot of them. I've written a number of them. With the cancer campaign, they also invited me. They want me to talk on leukemia and like. So I think next time I'll be doing, instead of paying people, I'll be doing it, or I
Yes.
mean, on my own.
Yes.
And Lizzie, are you gonna put your number there? We want to be talking to you.
She put her email.
And the other thing, if you also send us the presentation because it was good.
You want this presentation?
Yes.
Okay. I'll try and put it in the chat.
I mean, the whole presentation.
I think I can't add it to the chat.
Okay.
So you just contact me and we will sort yours together.
But Sue has
Okay.
done the presentation apart from Nala's practical demonstration in a PDF as well to be shared with everyone.
Okay. No, that's okay. Yeah. Now I saw you, I sent you the WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are also going to put, those of us who found this webinar on the social media platforms, we will also put a link to the recording so that if you want to rewatch this and follow it step by step, then you can access it and follow it step by step. That will also help. I see we are coming to the top of the hour. Our panelists, if there's any other final words, please. Thank you.
Just thank you, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you in Gaborone.
Yes. And good luck with your posters.
Yep. Happy to help as well. You have my email address.
Great. Best wishes to everybody and see you in person. Thank you.
In 2
Thank
weeks.
you all.
Thank you so much to our panelists and everyone who attended. We look forward to meeting in Botswana. We have a second series for the same workshop running next week on the 8th. So if you have colleagues who have missed today, they can also watch. It's a clinic on poster presentation as well. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks,
everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
There was a question before you
Bye.
stop. There was a question about using Publisher. If you look in Q&A, Sue, would you like to answer it?
Yes, I'm not very familiar with Publisher. I think if you are comfortable around Publisher, all you really need to do is create a PDF. So any program that creates a PDF, as long as you design it in the correct size, is perfect. So if you're very comfortable, and I use InDesign, which is an Adobe program, and I'm very comfortable in it. So it's just the case of creating the PDF at the end that can be sent to a printer. But you won't, I don't think you will get the template in Publisher. I'm sure APCA will do, I'm hoping we'll do a PowerPoint template for you and maybe a Canva one. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks. Bye.